The Man in the Woods, 1984, is a young adult mystery novel by Rosemary Wells. It follows high school freshman Helen Curragh, who witnesses a crime, only to see the police arrest the wrong suspect. Determined to find the truth, Helen teams up with her classmate Pinky Levy to track down the real culprit before he comes after her. Their investigation leads them down a dangerous path, tangled with clues stretching back to the Civil War. Along the way, Helen must contend with condescending adults who dismiss her suspicions, but as the mystery deepens, her confidence and courage grow. Rosemary Wells, the acclaimed author of over 100 books for children and young adults, was nominated for the Dorothy Canfield Fisher Award in 1986 for The Man in the Woods. The story begins with Helen starting her freshman year at New Bedford Regional High School in Massachusetts, a jarring shift from her former parochial school, St. Teresa's. Self-conscious about her frizzy hair and youthful appearance, Helen struggles to make friends. Her mother died when she was 4, and she now lives with her Irish father and overprotective Aunt Stella. Her second day of school quickly turns into a nightmare when she locks all her belongings in her locker, and the combination fails. The only highlight is her history teacher, Mr. Brzostowski, Mr. Bro, who notices her artistic talent and assigns her as a staff illustrator for the school newspaper, The Whaler. However, not everyone is supportive. The editor, Jerry, and his friend Barry discourage Helen from drawing political cartoons, fearing backlash from the paper's biggest sponsor, Mr. Perry, a powerful local businessman. Instead, they assign her to sketch a Hummel figurine. Meanwhile, Pinky Levy, another student on the paper, irritates Helen with his know-it-all attitude, though he does help her open her jammed locker. After school, Helen and Pinky witness a startling incident. Someone hurls a rock through a moving car's windshield, causing a crash. The two rush to help the injured driver and her daughter. Helen sees a man disappearing into the woods. She can't see his face, but catches a glimpse of a white t-shirt, sneakers, and hears him whistling. In the chaos, she loses her cherished locket, which contains a photo of her late mother. When the police arrest fellow student Duane Stubby Atlas for the crime, Helen is sure they've made a mistake. Though Stubby has a troubled reputation, expelled from St. Teresa's and son of a jailed drug dealer, Helen doesn't believe he's the so-called punk rock thrower. Stubby works for Perry & Crow, a business that deals in trinkets and Hummel figurines. As Helen and Pinky grow closer, they team up to search the woods for her locket. They don't find it, but they do meet an elderly Wampanoag man who lives in the forest and claims to see everything. Back at the police station, they learn that an anonymous typed note tipped the authorities off about Stubby. When arrested, he was carrying drugs. The police are now looking for a small red notebook once owned by Stubby's father, rumored to contain names of dealers and drug contacts. Stubby ends up signing a confession. Pinky becomes suspicious of the tip-off note. Its unique raised lettering leads him and Helen to Pinky's Uncle Max, who identifies the print as coming from a rare, pre-Civil War machine known as a Thurber. Sister Ignatius Paul, Helen's friend from St. Teresa's, notes that while the grammar is poor, the punctuation is perfect, suggesting the note was written by someone educated. Then things take a sinister turn. Helen's locket is returned, but the photo of her mother has been defaced, her eyes gouged out, and replaced with a red backing. Helen also receives a tape of someone eerily whistling a Christmas tune. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. The police dismiss it as a prank. Determined to investigate on her own, Helen asks Mr. Bro for help. He assigns her a research paper on Civil War writing machines. Her search leads her and Pinky to Asa Roch, an elderly man who shares the story of General Lorenzo Fairchild, a shady Civil War profiteer, and his mysterious daughter, Lucy, whose house burned down and who supposedly vanished. The Fairchild family denies Lucy ever existed. Intrigued, Helen decides to write a feature on Lucy for The Whaler. They learn that Lucy's husband was a blind Confederate soldier and suspect that Lucy used the Thurber, its raised print serving as a kind of braille. She had been secretly smuggling arms to the South. When Helen approaches Mrs. Fairchild about writing Lucy's story, she is asked to drop it. Helen and Pinky trace Lucy's former house to an abandoned spot along an old railway line deep in the woods. There, they discover a hidden cellar containing the Thurber and boxes of old morphine. The Wampanoag man offers a description of the man Helen saw that day, and Helen sketches it. They notify the police, but by the time they return, the drugs are gone. Then Helen recognizes the face from her sketch. She and Pinky rush to Perry and Crow, where they catch Barry stuffing Hummel figurines with white powder, morphine. He also has Stubby's missing red book. The police finally admit Helen and Pinky were right. Helen decides not to publish the article about Lucy Fairchild, reflecting, enough wrong has been done, and enough right too. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.